All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Anthony Joshua says something that I think is just, man, is a little bit silly, a little bit naive. Most importantly, dude doesn't know his boxing history or his weight classes very well, apparently, because he says something about Muhammad Ali as it relates to Tyson Fury, man, it was absolutely nuts. But let's talk about that. A fun conversation, I think, in this video. All right, welcome back. So, Anthony Joshua, who is the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO heavyweight champion, was asked some questions about who would win between Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. Now, if you need me to give you the background on who Muhammad Ali is and who Mike Tyson is, man, I don't understand. I don't know why you here watching a boxing video, but I'll just because that's the proper form, I'll do it. Muhammad Ali is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time, if not one of the greatest and one of the greatest fighters of all time, if not the greatest fighter of all time. Now, most people say that it's Sugar Ray Robinson that kind of would take it down. There's people that say it could be people like Henry Armstrong, right, who are not at the heavyweight division. And there's very, very good arguments for that. Sam Langford as well. But as far as heavyweight goes, man, my guy is Muhammad Ali. And obviously Mike Tyson, somebody that came around after Muhammad Ali, one of the better heavyweights of the last, one of the better heavyweights of, of my lifetime. Not the best. I still say he's probably somewhere around number 4 or 5 of the best heavyweights that have fought during my lifetime, but a very good fight and somebody that is, just like pretty much everybody else that becomes a very, successful champion or, gets the notoriety of a lot of people. People would ask Mike Tyson, who would win between Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali? Now, I think that the reason that this particular conversation is coming up is because there was the world, somebody was out there doing this fantasy matchup thing, like maybe a video game fantasy matchup thing where they went through, because we're in the middle of this virus and so there's not any boxing and people love to talk about boxing. So those are one of the good conversations that people go focus on, but anyway, or have to resort to in this type of situation. But, so we've been having this conversation for years. Now, I don't have any problem with somebody saying that they believe Mike Tyson can beat Muhammad Ali, or that, Joe Frazier is too small to fight Tyson Fury, things like that. I don't have any problem with people saying that. I do not agree. I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why I don't agree with that for several reasons in this video. But at the very least, Anthony Joshua should do is he should get his facts right. Okay. So one of the reasons Anthony Joshua, first and foremost, Anthony Joshua picked Muhammad Ali to lose to Tyson Fury, to lose to Mike Tyson. And I also think this ridiculous fucking video game had Muhammad Ali losing to Mike Tyson. Now, this is why I'm saying I don't have a problem with people having their opinion, but I do have a problem with people having their own facts. So Anthony Joshua says that one of the reasons why he says that is because, when Muhammad Ali was fighting, the heavyweights at that time were fighting at cruiserweight. They were cruiserweights. So, I guess that means he thinks that because Mike Tyson beat bigger heavyweights or fought bigger heavyweights, that he can beat Muhammad Ali, who fought smaller heavyweights. Now, here's the problem. There's a big problem with that for 2 reasons. One, Muhammad Ali never fought cruiserweights. So get your facts right, man. The cruiserweight division rests between 175 pounds and 200 pounds. There were a couple of occasions where Muhammad Ali fought somebody that was under 200 pounds, like a guy like Floyd Patterson early in their career, might have been somewhere in the high, low 190s, but he was never really a heavyweight. He was a guy that was who fought at lower weight classes than that and moved up to heavyweight for the money. So Floyd Patterson was never a big heavyweight. But the big fights that Muhammad Ali is known for, none of those guys weighed under 200 pounds. None of those guys weighed too close to 200 pounds. Sonny Liston was well over 200 pounds. Big Cat Williams, over 200 pounds. Ernie Terrell, probably over 220, closer to 230 pounds. Same thing probably for Big Cat Williams. George Foreman at the time was weighing somewhere around 230 pounds. Joe Frazier was somewhere around 205 pounds. Ken Norton was around 220 pounds. He lost to Larry Holmes, and Larry Holmes was somebody that was weighing somewhere around 215, 220 pounds. Right now, they might have weighed in less or more from one fight to the other, but those guys are big guys. Ernie Shavers is a big guy. Ernie Shavers was weighing in fights at 210, 215 pounds, right? So you could say, well, that's not big compared to guys like Lennox Lewis and maybe Riddick Bowe. And I would say that I have this is my response to that. They probably weren't, first of all, a lot of these heavyweights that come in at these weights are fat. Okay, a lot of these guys that come in at these really big, bulky weights, those guys are fat. So you take Dillian White, for example. Dillian White is about 6'3". I think he weighs in sometimes around 250, 255 pounds. Dillian White, my friend, is a steroid abuser and he is fat. Okay, he is not somebody he is not training to fight, and he is not training to fight for 15 rounds. Guys that were fighting in the 1960s and the 1970s, they were not fighting 12 rounds. They were fighting 15-round fights. And as a result of having to fight for 15-round fights and not 12-round fights, they had to focus more on endurance. They had to focus on being completely in shape and being able to carry that weight and be able to fight in the deep waters. Because now, in boxing, what we refer to is that, taking somebody to deep waters is getting them to the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th rounds, right? Those are the championship rounds. If you think about the effect of a 15-round fight, then then where is deep water? Deep water is 13, 14, and 15. These guys are fighting three more rounds in a fight. When it's a 12-round fight, is an extra fourth of the fight, right? So you have Mike Tyson, who the majority of his career is fighting 12-round. You have not just Mike Tyson, the bigger guys that can carry all this weight, like Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis would have to carry that weight unless he could get a guy out of there. He would have to carry that weight, that extra size, for another 3 rounds. And if you looked at the way guys definitely the way Muhammad Ali fought, Muhammad Ali started drowning dudes in the 12th after that fight was over. So the heavyweights in the 60s and 70s that Muhammad Ali are fighting, these guys are in shape. These guys are, that's why their body, that in large part is why their body is not as fluffy as some of these fighters here. But look at the size but anyway, so that's one reason. Number one, Muhammad Ali never fought cruiserweights. Number two, Muhammad Ali was fighting these, and the reason that they were small, the reason that they weren't weighing 260, 270 pounds is because they were not training for a shorter amount of time. They were training for a longer amount of time, which means that their endurance and all that, they had to be able to go that far. So to me, it never made sense that people would think that guys, it's almost as if people think that the human body is changed, we have quote unquote evolved into larger human beings from 1960 to 2020. And it's just not the case. You've got examples of very big heavyweights all the way back to the early 1900s, whether it is Jess Willard or Primo Carnera, or even guys like Big Cat Williams and Ernie Terrell. These guys were 6'5". These guys are 6'4", 6'5". Now, I do believe that Primo Carnera was like 6'7". The Tyson Fury sized heavyweights and all that stuff have come. Maybe Tyson Fury might actually be the biggest guy. He might be the second biggest guy to win a career, but to win a championship, maybe behind Valuev, maybe behind Nikolai Valuev. But what they're saying is just not true. But then if you look at Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, you would say, okay, well, how big is Mike Tyson and how big is Muhammad Ali? If you look at the two guys, Muhammad Ali is a significantly bigger man than Mike Tyson is. Mike Tyson is maybe 5'11" standing on his tippy toes. He's a big, thick guy, but he's much smaller. He's and I don't think his body weight, he's just not as big a guy as Muhammad Ali. And if you want to talk about, like the size of muscle mass of these guys, look, man, put some of these guys in the 1960s and 1970s on steroids or on whey protein and have them lifting weights out of camp and see how big those guys get. Okay. Muhammad Ali was probably fighting at his largest. This is 215, 220 pounds with absolutely no weightlifting. No, he was not. Now he's probably taking in a lot of protein and all that stuff, but he was training for longer distances. I don't have an issue with Anthony Joshua thinking what Anthony Joshua thinks. That's very, very fair. But at least understand, dude, what the cruiserweight division is. It's 200 pounds. It's between 175.1 and 201.1. Heavyweight is anything over 200 pounds. So 200.1 and on is a heavyweight. And you might find maybe 3 guys in all of Muhammad Ali's career that were that size. Maybe some people like really, really early on in his career when he was transitioning from light heavyweight to heavyweight. But anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.